Alright guys, so welcome back. This is probably going to make me sad here, but this is Greenbean, my 1997 Dodge Caravan LE I bought at Copart in late 2022. And we're going to do a final walk around on this van, as I think I'm getting ready to sell it today. And mind the wind, sorry, but it is what it is. Fortunately, I do think I'm going to be letting this van go today. I got a family that's looking at it. But I figured I'd do a final walk around since I've got the time to do that. We'll do just a regular showcase like I usually do. I like the U-Pull stuff, but, you know, better. So, this van is a 97 LE, so it's a high trim Dodge variant. It has power windows, power rear vent windows, power locks, power mirrors, no fog lights. It has the higher trim door panels with the interior lights, and it, as you can see here, it has door speakers because it has the Infinity 10 sound system. This is the stereo we've got in it currently. Do not believe that is the Infinity stereo that came with it, but it works. This has a full instrument panel with tack and everything. It came with one. This is not the cluster it came with. The cluster it came with didn't actually work when I bought the car. When I bought this van, it did not have keys, and it did not state it ran. I just so happened to have a pile of old Dodge keys that one of my keys fit into the ignition well enough. I was able to turn it over, and the van started on the trailer, and I was able to drive it off the trailer. And then I promptly used that key, since to pop these ignitions out, you have to be able to turn the key or drill it out. I had the key in, so I popped the ignition out, put a different ignition in it with a key that properly fit. And I also had it was a full set. I had a key, two keys, I think. I got a second key. I got to dig around for it still. And all the door locks I was able to get. So it's got all matching door locks and stuff. This has the security enabled system. So it has the little clips on the back of the lock cylinders that allow the computer to know when it's turned on and off. Those are old and brittle, and if you turn the key too far, they will fall off, and then you get locked out of the security lockout doesn't let you start the van. So it's kind of finicky. It would help if a guy had the fobs. This did come with two fobs that I did not get. If you had the fobs to lock and unlock doors, you would never have to use the key, but if you use the key gently, it works, and I'll show you that actually, since we're talking about it. So, very gently locks the van and unlocks the van. If you go any further than that, it will pop that off the lock cylinder there, and you got to pull the door panel off and pop it back on. It's just two little contacts on there that tell it, hey, unlock the doors. But this has dual climate control, AC and everything. It does all work. What else do we got? Driver power seat. So we're really fancy. I got some floor mats in it. I used to have some rubber floor mats. I took them out and put them in something else. I don't actually remember what I put them in. I didn't have this before I put this floor mat in it, so that's cool. The previous owner, one of the previous owners, I think it's the three owner car including me. It was actually originally out of Massachusetts, and it was sold at an auto auction in 2010, and a guy in Minneapolis bought it and owned it until 2022 when he sold it at auction, which ended up going to me. And I'll see if I can insert some of the auction photos, because this van was a mess when I picked it up. This van was trashed. So I mean, like, I was probably competing against a salvage yard as far as bidding goes. I think I paid, it was 400 something in Copart, like the final bid, which ended up being 9 something in Copart fees, you know, out the doors, just under $1,000 I paid for it, which wasn't too bad. It turned out to not be too bad. But so it's got second row bucket seats. This one had a tear in it. I sewed it back together with some fishing string, so that's actually held up pretty well. People have sat in this, and it's, you know, it's still here, so that's cool. It's got a third row bench. I got slid all the way up, and then I've got the bucket seats popped in the back latch, so you get more foot room here, and then I kind of just use the rear bench as storage, and then I actually have a little bit of trunk space since this is a short wheelbase. I believe when the person who did the carpet, they also did this, and I like this idea a lot. So they took a straight section of carpet and they used some fender clips and they clipped it in here, and it kind of covers up under the seat here, which is Really nice. I believe there's a trim for that, like from factory, but this is obviously not it. But I like how that looks. I might repeat that in the future. So headliner is kind of down, but it's not too bad. Somebody put a headliner in it, I think, or at least had this one out and botched putting it back in. As you can see, it doesn't line up right. Something's funny back here and it doesn't line up right. So it's kind of sat weird and it bubbles and this clip doesn't go in. It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter. It does have the overhead console with the trip and fuel computer. And it does have the nice sun visors with the extra little bits and the mirrors with the lights that work. Pop around. Oh, and this door doesn't, like the power lock doesn't work on it. And this window doesn't open, but the rest all works. This tailgate here, I put on myself because mine was rotten. That came with it. Completely rotted out on the bottom. This one doesn't have the trim, and actually, if you look really, really closely, and yeah, you can kind of see it. It still says Chrysler. This is off of a Chrysler Town and Country, and then I glued these emblems back on with some 3M adhesive. But this has got no rust on it. It doesn't have the trim. This one originally had the lower gray trim that matched the bumper and everything. I kind of like it without it, to be honest. But this hatch doesn't have any rust in it, as you can see. That's a very nice hatch. And then back here, needs more storage. So, I believe the jack's in it and everything, if I recall. I don't use the jack, so what do I know? So you pop that like that, and it is. Yep, jack's all in there. The little raising, lowering tool, that's all there. So that's cool. But I gotta pop it back in. Oh, I messed up. Get in there. There we go. Back as it was. Obviously the shocks and everything work. It came, actually, it didn't come with any wheels. It came with some crappy rollers, like a weird 16-inch wheel, 2 dummy spares, and then some random steel. I got these a long time ago. Actually, I believe it's on video. I picked these up at U-Pull for like 80 bucks, like 50% off or something. So these tires were on these rims, so I didn't even have to balance the tires. They were already balanced, and this is what I've been running there. General Ultimax 215 6515s. I believe they're on the older side. Yeah, 11th week of 16, but wherever they were kept, like there's no dry rotting, no cracking or anything, and the treads, you know, nice. So these are good set of tires, and the rubber's still pliable and everything, so I'm not worried about them. Oh, and it also, if you notice, it's got the lower molding and a double pinstripe, which I really, really like. And here's a look from this side here. And then got up over here. A little bit of rust on the bottom of the seat. Nothing really can do. I sprayed a little bit of fluid film on it just to keep it from, you know, getting worse. So it's still kind of oily. In the glove box, I believe, is the title, a spare headlight, and a spare fuse. Because I got to bring the title with me to sell the vehicle naturally. Anyway, you might be thinking, well, this fan's really clean for... I guess it was in Massachusetts, which I guess, do they salt their roads up there? I don't know. Anyway, it's a clean van. There's no rust, really. It's there. It's there. The rockers are... The dog legs are good to about here, but the rockers back to about here are gone. This rear quarter is all good. A little bit of paint scraping here and stuff. This was from when my shed... You may or may not know this. It was under one of my little lean-to there. We had some really, really, really bad winds coupled with rain, which the anchors pulled out of the ground and shifted the shed, and it kind of bumped the side of this vehicle, which sucks. I touched it up so there was no bare metal exposed. It doesn't look that great, but it's not the worst thing in the world. And obviously this is not rusty. Bottoms of the doors got some rust, as you can see right here. Like I said, the rocker, I believe this rocker or dog leg is good, as you can see. Metal, 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 and then it's just the quarter or the rocker panel that's gone. The dog leg's okay. But right here, if you look, I've been keeping an eye on. He hasn't gotten very much bigger. He's been like that. There's a bubble back here, and I've sprayed it full of fluid film on both sides so to slow it down. But the paint ain't chipped yet. But that's getting pretty close to popping through. But that's about the worst rust spot that you can see. This scrape was in it when I bought it. There's a video of me cleaning that up. I should have polished it and buffed it to kind of get the roughness out of it. As you can see, the dirt sticks to the roughness, but whatever. It's green and not white because you can see the primer through it. So I don't mind it so much. A little bit of regular scrapes and stuff and dings and whatnot, but overall it's pretty clean. It cleans up really nice. Oh, and it does have cruise and everything, so you know. But let's pop under the hood real quick. Oh yeah, and I forgot, I didn't even walk around the front of it. This hood, the original hood, was completely peeled with clear coat. So I picked this one up at U-Pull. Nice clean hood, look at that. Perfect, makes the van look like $1,000,000. You know, obviously there's no clear coat left on the roof or anything, but your eyes are down here, and just having this front like this made the van look so much nicer. So we've got a nice clean hood here, and for prop under here, we've got ourselves a 3.3 liter V6 with a 4.1 TE automatic transmission. We've got ourselves a Superstart battery that is dated February of 2022. I believe I bought a battery for this, put it in my other van, and then put that battery in this one, if I recall correctly. Anyway, it's had all the works done. Somebody, at some point, put heads on the van. It's got newer heads on it. It's got a warranty sticker on the back. I don't know when it was done, but it was done at some point. Somewhat recently, because the heads look a lot cleaner than the block. Transmission, I can't tell that it's been done at all. So it's got a 4.1 TE automatic transmission. I do not believe that this transmission has been replaced, as far as I can tell. If you look down here, even the shift solenoid is the old version that's still got that rubber cover. They eliminated that when they did updates on the design for those, for the newer shift solenoids. But as far as I can tell, that one's been in there its whole life. But otherwise, I've done a little bit of work. New water pump, new pulleys and stuff, new valve cover gaskets, new plugs, new wires, spliced up some cabling here. This coil pack's been replaced 4 million times if you see some of the previous episodes on this. Repaired a bunch of vacuum lines here. I put these headlights in. The ones that used to be in it were a lot worse. Now these ones are kind of getting bad. Need to be repolished up. I put this bar on here. Actually, I painted this bar and put it on here. I believe it was, I can't remember what color it was. I think it was a green, but it was like a lighter green. Anyway, the bar that was here was bashed in and banged up because this van had been in an accident in like 2003, based on the Carfax. So I replaced this. I put the original tag back on it. This is the original tag, the rusty one. I believe that's the original one anyway. Let's compare the VIN numbers. 680 and 680. Yep. So that's the right tag. What else did I do? Oh yeah, I replaced this fuel rail. I grabbed the newer design that doesn't go over like here where they all leak here, and this is the newer design with this flex piece. So I put that in. New hose right here. As you can see, I got new clamps on here. What else? New wiper motor. Well, as far as other work goes, it's got all 4 new wheel bearings. We just did that actually. It's got new sway bar links, sway bar bushings. But the only thing that I haven't done that really needs to be done or should have been done is these front struts. They are bad, but it rides nice. It rides like a boat, honestly. And obviously we put these tires on it. I don't think we really did brake work. The brakes that are on here were the ones that were on here, if I recall correctly. We did do new rear brakes. Those were all new because I don't think they ever worked up until, you know, like a week or 2 ago when I just did them. It's got new rear shocks on it. I put a full-size spare on it. I cobbled that muffler on there. He's not on there very good, and it kind of is a little loud, but it's not too bad. New rear brake lines on the axle. The previous owner put new front to rear lines in. We put a new fuel filler neck on it this over the winter here. That fixed our evap leak. And then we also put a new fuel filter and all those little plastic lines up there on it that you can't see from here, but they're back there, trust me, because they started to leak at the O-rings. Among other things that we've done. Like I said, we put a new cluster in it. I believe, yes, the clock spring was bad when I got it, so I put a used clock spring in it from the junkyard. I put this wheel on it. The wheel that was on it was really gross and wore down for as many miles are on it, so I might as well show you that. But I put this nicer low-mile wheel on it. And this is something we can't really do at the junkyard that often, at all, really. Is turn the key on, have power, and start the thing. And Greenbean here has 245,317 miles. And a big thing I did forget to mention is we also put new main bearings and new rod bearings in it for a lifter knock. So anyway, it's got no lights on. Obviously we got an oil pressure light because we're not running. Oh, and it has traction control too. See, I'm scatterbrained right now. Really scatterbrained, but it's got traction control and everything. And half a tank of fuel. And we put a starter in it too. We put a used Greenbean starter in it. As you can see, no warning lights. And it runs and drives good. It does have reverse, unlike some of my other vehicles. But it sounds good. Runs good. Music works. Radio works, as you could hear maybe. Lights all work. No HVAC codes or anything. Used to be, but I cleared it. The AC works, blows cold. Don't have to recharge it. So, like I said, I think the only big issue is those front struts and the not having the fobs, which you could go to a dealer and I think you could get fobs programmed for it if you really wanted to, but I haven't. I think you could also get the box. If you find a box that's pre-programmed with fobs, you're good to go, but we don't have that, so here we are. Anyway, it's kind of a little video I wanted to do here, a little walk around. Before I, unfortunately, I think let go of this van. I really don't want to, but I kind of have to. You have to sometimes. It is what it is. Maybe I will own Greenbean someday in the future. I'm gonna let the new people know if they do buy it that I call dibs before the scrapyard if it has to go away for any reason. So you never know. But it's a good runner. I put, what, 14,000 miles on. I bought it at 231,908, and it's got 245 something now. Drove it all the way down to see the eclipse this year. Ran good. That's when I started noticing the wheel bearing noise, but it ran and drove great all the way down there and back, among other trips. And I drove it to work today, actually, so this might be like actually it for Greenbean. So it's kind of sad, but it was a good van. And I saved it from the scrapyard. It was at an auto auction for, you know, salvage auction. And I bought it, and I brought it home, and I brought it back to life. And now it will live on, for now, with somebody else. And I think they have kids, so it's good luck interior. Enjoy. Anyway, I'm glad it's saved, and I'm glad it is still on the road today. And should make a decent little bit of change at some point. But it's 4:10 p.m. today. I'm gonna meet them at 6, so Greenbean's gonna sit out here for the next hour and a half. And I gotta go get my mind on something else because I'm gonna be really sad now. Oh yeah, I might as well. See? Oh yeah, we put that motor in it. See, I just keep thinking of things that I've done to this van. I put that window motor in it. Here, I can show you the wipers that act funny. As you can see, the spray works fine. Full on doesn't work. This works sometimes right here. So if we go like this, no, and it's not working right now. So sometimes you gotta manually do it. This is the other big problem. And this is, the switch is good, the motor's good. I believe that leaves just the body control module, unfortunately, and I'm not gonna have anything to do with that. So I guess I gotta tell these people, hey, be careful with the locks. This is funny, and maybe it needs new struts. But otherwise, it's got a fresh oil change at 245. It's due. I was doing 3,000 just because we put new bearings in it, but they can do whatever they want, I guess. anyway, I think that's going to do it. I'm rambling. Kind of lost my train of thought here with a little bit I had. So, this is my 1997 Dodge Caravan LE that I bought at Copart in 2022 and saved potentially from the scrapyard. So, thank you guys for watching once again. Hope to see you next time on whatever it is we're working on. Alright, so it's like 3 days later. The people that came and looked at it are going to buy it. They're picking it up today. So I'm about to just check the oil. I've checked all the other fluids, all good. About to drive it in and they're going to pick it up here. And we're at 245, 499. I'll take a final picture when I pull it in, see what miles. It'll be just over 500. Quarter tank of gas, I just put 10 bucks in it. Check the oil and we're good to go. I should be getting $2,000 today for good old Greenbean, with the stipulation that if they ever sell it or are planning to junk it, I get first call at buying it back. So